This is the first video covering the Orders interface on the Delphi Consumables planning tool. I'll discuss how to pull a list of orders, look at the details provided for individual orders, and show the actions you can take to check for PO updates in Coupa and import POs from Coupa. When you first visit the Orders page, there are no orders listed. To view orders, you need to specify a date range and select the order conditions you want to view. The date range is self-evident and defaults to the last 60 days. We'll talk about the types of order conditions in the second order interface video. For now, I'll just select all the order conditions and leave the default date range. To pull the list of orders matching these criteria, click on the search icon. Once you have a list of orders on the screen, you can find specific orders by entering all or part of the PO number in the search field. Note that the list is paginated, and by default only 10 orders are shown per page. You can move to different pages and change how many rows per page will be displayed using the options at the bottom of the list. To pull a different list of orders, first click on the X icon that replaced the search icon at the top of the page. Then modify either the date range or the selected order conditions or both, and click on Search again. Each line in the order list is an individual Coupa PO with information related to the expected date, order condition, Coupa status, supplier, and created and updated information. Additionally, you can click on the order record to view the order lines, then click on it again to hide the order lines. Let's take a moment to explain how orders work and where this data comes from. When you plan orders in Delphi, you end the planning process by submitting the orders to Coupa, and Coupa creates requisitions in draft status. Once you go into Coupa and create the POs from those requisitions, Delphi will automatically import those POs and they will show up here within about 5 minutes. Similarly, when you update a PO in Coupa, the changes will be reflected in Delphi within about 5 minutes. Even POs that are not created from requisitions that were initiated in Delphi will be pulled into Delphi within 5 minutes, as long as the PO contains consumable items and the ship-to address matches one of the addresses configured for the site. So basically, all of the orders you see in this list come from Coupa, and any changes that will impact the PO must be made in Coupa. This includes receive activity, changing order lines, and changing Coupa statuses. To make it easy to switch over to Coupa, the PO number is a link that will take you to Coupa, where you can make necessary changes. Note that the order list will not spontaneously update when you make the changes in Coupa. You will need to refresh the page or cancel the list using the X icon and reload the list in order to see any changes that you make, and it will take at least 5 minutes for those changes to be reflected in Delphi. There are some actions that you can take on this interface to control order conditions, but those actions are limited in scope to Delphi and do not change the PO in Coupa at all. Those actions will be covered in the next video that covers the order conditions. So I won't touch on those here, but there are also 2 actions that will pull information from Coupa to Delphi that we will cover in this video. First is checking for PO updates, and the second is importing POs from Coupa. Both of these are generally not going to be needed, as the POs will be imported to Delphi within 5 minutes of being created and changed anyway. but in case you don't want to wait, you can manually trigger these actions. To check for updates, click the refresh icon next to the PO number. This will pull the PO from Coupa, check for changes to the PO, and import any changes to Delphi, and you'll see a confirmation message at the top of the screen when the process is complete. To upload a PO, click the orange Cloud Download button found at the bottom of the screen, and then type your PO number into the PO field and click Import PO. In order to be imported, the PO ship-to address must match one of the ship-to addresses configured for your site in Delphi, and the PO must have consumable items. You'll see an alert message if the PO is already in Delphi or if it doesn't meet the criteria to be imported. Otherwise, the PO will be imported and you'll see a success message like you just saw. Note that if the PO doesn't match the date range and selected conditions for the order list that's displayed, it won't show up in the list and you'll have to reset the list and search again. Once you're done importing, click Cancel to exit the import. And here we can see that the import the PO that I typed in has been imported into the system.